purchase requisition. So purchase requisition is the first transaction data which we are going to discuss. So what is our understanding? What is purchase requisition means? Anybody knows? So
we get a requisition from the organization or from HR or any other department.
Okay. So in your day-to-day life, when you go for like purchasing, when you need something for your day-to-day life, right? That time only you go to the shop and you go to the. So here, like we are again like in our day-to-day life, we are not going to tell that any specific word. Like I need something is like whatever the item, we'll go to the shop, we'll buy that, and that thing is done. But in organization, it is followed in a sequential manner, and each activity has its own names. So the first thing for any organization, for purchasing activity to start, they should have some requirement, right? When somebody in the organization tells that like they need a something for their day-to-day life, that is where the requirement will start, right? So that requirement itself we are going to call it as a purchase requisition. Means somebody is submitting a request to purchase that item or services. That is called as a purchase requisition, right? And this purchase requisition is just an internal document. What exactly it means? The request, whatever like it is getting submitted, it will be submitted within the organization. It will not send to the external parties. Means I need something. So when I need something, I am part of the organization. I am going to submit this request to the purchasing department. I am not going to submit this request to directly a vendor because I am not the one who is directly dealing with a vendor. So when I need something, I have authorization to submit the request only till the purchasing department. So when it is getting submitted within the organization, we are going to call it as an internal document, right? It cannot be sent to the external world. External world means outside the organization. We cannot send it. So when we call it as a requirement, what are the information it should have?
Quantity.
What is the material required?
So first thing I should know that like what material I need, right? It can be a what material or service. That is the first thing why we should know, right? So in our daily needs also, if you need something means what is that something? Something is a material, right? So that is the first thing should be there in the requirement. What else should be there?
Quantity.
So that is the next thing. How much quantity we should buy? That is the next information we should have. What else? Delivery date means when we are going to get that goods. When I need that goods. Is it like I need after 1 week or after 1 month? That is the information I need to fill in. What else? Where I need to get this delivered, right? So whether I should get it delivered to my home or like my office, where exactly I need that goods to be get delivered. That is the information should be there. What else? Anything else? Just think about like your day-to-day activity. Forget about SAP. If you are already created a requisition, if you already created a PO, forget sometime for that all this thing. Just think that in your day-to-day life, if you need something, what are the information you should have ready with you when you go to the shop?
Yeah, whom should I buy it?
Sorry?
Whom should I buy it?
So I should know that like which shop, where I am going to buy. So that is something for us is a vendor, right? So vendor is the one who can supply this. So where I am going to buy this? What else? So that initially we already feeling, right? So something I need to estimate the budget. I simply cannot go to the shop and start like procuring something, right? I should have some estimated price. What else? Is that enough?
Organization.
We are only filling the delivery address. So in our day-to-day life, most commonly like these are the few things we look, right? And sometimes we even look for an estimated price. But when it comes to an organization, like when you are working for somebody and when somebody is asking you to buy something, we are least bothered about estimated price because I'm not going to pay anything from my pocket. Somebody else has to pay, right? So I'll be not worrying. And in an organization, like when you are working for a bigger organization and you are not part of the purchasing department, you cannot judge who is the vendor who can supply this. So if you need something, you can just fill in the material, quantity, delivery date and delivery address. You can just tell that like this is the material I need, like for this particular location and this day. That is the information you have maximum, right? You cannot go behind that. So one more information you can fill in, like who is writing a request is ID, because when in an organization we are telling that like any particular purchasing activity is not performed by a single person. It is like group of people will be working from various departments, right? So he has to fill in his ID as well, like who needs the goods. Whether he needs the goods or somebody else needs the goods on behalf of them, he is creating a requisition. That is the information he has to fill in. And some information will start flowing from your metal master, like purchase group you are filling in a metal master, that will come to the purchase requisitions, right? Whatever the information like we have in metal master, most of the information will come and sit in the requisition. So as a requester, we are going to fill in a material or service, what exactly we need, how much quantity, delivery date, delivery address, and estimated price. Even I will not be knowing that estimated price because I am not in the part of purchasing department. So I can go back and see that in metal master, in your accounting view, whatever the price is there, that is the price I can fill in as an estimated price. If there is no info record, nothing is there, right? So that is the information I have to fill in. So once after fill in, can purchasing department directly pick this and like identify vendor and try to do the purchase, or what will happen?
Quotation.
Is that like purchasing department directly go for a vendor selection? What can happen? So what is that approval means?
The budget to be approved.
Is it only a budget?
Whether the material is required or not.
So it is kind of a validation, guys. Like it's again same thing, right? In your home also, like if you are not the one who is taking the financial approval authority, means you are taking a pocket money, everything from your parents. If you want to go and buy something, right? You have to go and tell them first, right? I am planning to buy this. So they are the one who is going to decide like whether you can buy that or not. It can be a budget thing, or it can be they are going to validate like is that whatever you are planning to buy is it really required or not, right? So is it like if you are planning to buy a bike, right? So you go and tell that like I want to buy a bike. So then like if you go and tell that like I need some super bikes, then they are going to tell that hold on, like when you are going to ask that time you buy all the super bikes. Like now we cannot offer whatever we can offer. That is the one only we can get you, right? Same thing the organization also. Like when you are going to join to the organization. So when you are joining the organization, they are going to ask you to raise a request for laptop because for you to work, right? So like in the list, like you can see all kinds of laptop. You can directly go and select some super laptop, something like costless laptop, which is going to cost some lakhs, right? So it is not like money is not going from your pocket. Somebody else is going to spend. So you want to have a fancy laptop. So you are going to select that laptop. So when you select that, in organization, like every level, like whatever the level you are going to join, on top of you there will be somebody sitting as a lead, right, who is going to manage the team. On top of him, somebody is going to sit as a manager. That we call as the organizational hierarchies. Means we have a different bands of people like junior employee, senior, team lead, manager, general manager, director, VPs, and CEO, right? Like that, the organizational structure will be there. Each person in the organization will have some authority to spend the money. It is not like for his own purpose, for organizational purpose. Means if any junior level of employees, they are not going to give any kind of authority to spend. If they want to spend, they need to take a approval. But if team lead want to spend some money for his team or for his organizational work, so up to some level, he can spend the money without taking any approval. Once after spending, he can bring back that whatever the expenditure bills are there, submit to organization, and he can take the money, right? If he is crossing his limit, then he has to get approval from his manager before spending the money, right? So same thing with anybody in the organization. If they want to spend money, nothing but if they want to buy anything for their organizational work, first, like it is going to check only estimated price only. Based on the estimated price, it will go for approval. So once that person, approval is nothing but a validation, he is going to validate whether this particular goods or services, whatever is requesting is really required. If it is required, he is going to approve. If it is not required, he is going to reject or he is going to select it, suggest an alternative item, right? So on that, like if he suggests an alternative item, the requester has to come back and revise the requisition. If he is approved, then that is completes the any like whomsoever is raising a request is kind of is side activity. So once it is getting approved, that is where the buyers or purchasing group or purchasing department come into picture. They are going to pick that requisitions which is approved, start identifying the vendor or supplier or source of supply, because some supplier has to supply these goods or services. How they are going to search? As we have discussed already, they will go back and check their database, nothing but an info record. Do we have any supplier already who has supplied these goods or services? So before that, you can ask the question, how purchasing department will come to know that I have to assign a source of supply for this particular requisition? How they will come to know? There are hundreds of people will be creating a requisition in the organization. So how they will come to know which requisition I need to pick and for which requisition I need to identify a source of supply?
The group, purchasing group.
So in the requisition we are entering something called as a purchasing group. What exactly that purchasing group means? It is a group of people who is working for that purchasing department, or it can be an individual person who is working in that department, right? So when you are creating a material, that time only you are mentioning that this material will be procured by this purchasing group only. So when you are creating a purchase requisition for that particular material, automatically that purchase group will be coming and sitting in your purchase requisition. So when you create a purchase requisition, the purchasing group, they have their own reports. Every day when they come in the office to in the morning, first thing they are going to run their report to see that how many requisitions are created for which they have to identify a source of supply. So they are going to pull out the requisition and start looking for each requisition. What is the material, and for that material have you done the purchasing activity before? So where they can check, they will go to the info record and try to check that is there any source of supply already available with us where we did the procurement activity previously. If the info record is available, if it is a one info record only available, then they are going to reach out to that supplier and start like negotiating the price. Like what is the price for that material? Can they deliver on that particular date? Everything will they are going to start. We told that whatever the price is there in the info record, it's not a legally agreed price. It is just a like whatever the purchasing activity we did last time, based on that the price are maintained. Sometimes the price can be same or price can be different. So the purchasing department, first they are going to initiate a discussion with the vendor, asking that is the price is same or is there any changes. If there is any changes, then like while creating a PO we need to update the price. If it is the same, then we can proceed with the same price. And further discussion like whether they can supply this number of quantity on this particular day, everything they are going to discuss. When they get the acknowledgement, then this requisition the purchasing department is going to convert into a PO, right? So then the PO process will get started. Till now, are we clear? Any questions? So in an organization, who all can create a purchase requisition? Who can raise this request? It should be anybody, right? Like anybody can get a requirement of like to getting like anybody get a needs for something in their organization, like for their day-to-day work. So it means anybody in the organization can go and submit a request, right? It is not like specific department or specific person. Whomsoever is working in the organization, whenever they come across any kind of needs, they can go and submit the request. So there are multiple ways to create these requisitions. Most commonly, when it is a service procurement, the requisition will be created manually only. When it is a service procurement, 90% or 100% of the time, it is getting created manually only. Means somebody has to go in and create the entry manually. When we are creating with respect to the material, that is a raw material. So we told the raw material PR creation is going to happen through MRP process. That we discussed in the previous class, right? We told from the whatever it's a make to stock, make to order, it will go to the planning. From the planning, we are going to create a planned order. That planned order will be fed to a MRP process. MRP process is going to check whether stock is available or not. If the stock is not available, directly it is going to create a requisition. It means your requisition can created automatically from the MRP process. Means like it is going to converting the planned order into a purchase requisition. The requisition also can be created from the sales order side. Sales order is nothing but the way, like if you want to buy something from the vendor, we are going to create a legal purchase order. Same way, if you are like manufacturing the goods, if you want to sell the goods to somebody, then the customer is going to raise a request. The way we are going to raise a request to a PO to the vendor. So somebody who is going to buy the goods from us, he is going to send a PO to us, that we are going to convert as a sales order. Means we are going to sell the goods to him. So you can ask that in that scenario why we are going to create a purchase requisition, because it's a sales process. The answer is, so very like limited process we are going to use it. What exactly it is means. So let's say you are a bike manufacturer, right? So somebody is coming and placing you that some 1,000 bike orders, right? So it is a like sales by you. You have to sell that 1,000 bike to the customer. So that is fine. Now he is also telling that along with that bike, I also need a helmet, right? So most of the bike manufacturers, they are not manufacturing the helmets. So now the like Umsor is a sales team. The person Umsor is requesting that 1,000 bike. He is telling that I cannot go and search somebody else who can supply the helmets. Along with me, bikes, you also have to supply the helmets, right? So, but I am not manufacturing the helmets. I am manufacturing only bike. If I go and tell that like okay, I am not manufacturing, I cannot supply. He is telling that I will cancel my 1,000 bike order, right? If you want to supply me both. Otherwise, I'll look for somebody else. So I cannot lose my such a big order. What I am going to do? So behalf of him, I am going to identify who is the supplier who can supply the element, right? So when I am taking a sales order, in that it has a two line item. One is a bike, another one is a element, right? So bike is the product which I am producing, I can directly supply. But element is the product which I am not producing, I need to procure from somebody and then only I can able to send it. So for this line item, I am going to create a purchase requisition and then I am going to create a purchase order, because I have to buy this. Once I get the goods, in the purchase order I can mention that whether it should be delivered to my plant, and from my plant I am going to send bike and element both together to the customer, or I can ask this supplier directly supply this element to the customer location. So in that process, we are even going to create a purchase requisition from the sales order. Is it clear, guys? Is it something like where you are not doing that activities, but somebody is still demanding? If you want to do a sales, you have to get it done. Then we are going to have some person who can supply that. It cannot be like every time manufacturing goods, finished goods. It can be some kind of services, anything where you are not involved, but your customer is demanding that time. With respect to the sales order, even we are going to create a purchase requisition, and means we are going to buy that service goods behalf of that customer, and we are going to get that delivered to that customer, right? Other area is even we can create a purchase requisition with respect to the plant maintenance order. What exactly it means? In SAP, we have one more module called as a plant maintenance. It means, so we understood production planning. Production planning is a one more module in SAP. It means like where the production activities will take place. Means assembling the goods or doing a manufacturing activity. All this will take place in any physical location, right? So that production activity we call as a production planning. But the place where the production activity will take place, that is we call it as a plant. In that plant, when it's a production plant, there are so many machineries will be there, so many other things will be there. So somebody has to take care of that things, right? So there will be huge machineries will be there in the production plant. So we need to take care of that machine. For that, like we have one more module called as a plant maintenance. So what will happen in that? So there will be big machineries. Suppose in that machinery some parts has broken down, means like the machine got damaged, right? So we need to get that machine repaired, or whatever the parts has broken down, we need to get that parts replaced, right? So if I want to replace the parts, I need to buy that parts from somewhere outside, right? I am not producing that machinery part. Are you able to follow this? So I need to procure that part somewhere from outside and get that parts fixed to that machine. So in order to repair that machine, this plant maintenance team, they are going to create a plant maintenance order. The way we are going to create a purchase order to procure a goods and services, this particular team, when any such things happen, if they need any kind of maintenance, services or parts replacement, in that module, they are going to create an order called as a plant maintenance order. In that, if any such components replacement is required, they are going to mention that, okay, these are all the components is required for me to maintain that machine. When they submit that plant maintenance order, by entering the component, automatically with respect to that component, your purchase requisition will get generated, because that is the components you need to buy from outside. So the system is going to check that first. If the component is already available with me, like last time I bought some 10 component, out of that 5 I only used, but another 5 is still there. In that case, system is not going to create a purchase requisition because components is already available. If the components is not available with you, then system is going to create a purchase requisition telling that in order to get this machine repaired, you need to buy these components. That is called as a spare parts of the machine. So with respect to that plant maintenance order also, purchase requisition will get automatically created. Are we clear? Are we able to follow this?
Yes, sir.
So if I am going too much speed, let me know. I can slow down. So these are all the, like we saw, one is manual, all these scenarios are automatic. You no need to go to MB51N to create a requisition. Whenever you are running a MRP, automatically in the background requisition will get generated. When you are creating a sales order, when you save the sales order, in the background requisition will get created. When you are creating a plant maintenance order, you save it, automatically in the background your requisition will get created. You are not going to create a requisitions manually. One more concept we have that is similar to MRP, that is called as a safety stock. So what exactly it means? Most of the manufacturing companies, like it's a manufacturing activity is an everyday activity. They cannot stop their manufacturing activity. If they stop that, entire force, whomsoever is working in that manufacturing activities, everybody is going to sit idle, right? So no company want their employee to sit idle. If they sit idle, whether they work, organization has to pay the salary for them, right? They cannot, because of the shortage of some material, we are not able to do some production activity today. During your salary date, okay, on that particular day you did not work, that is the reason I am not going to give a salary for that day. Will anybody is going to take? No, right? Because we are already present in the organization. It's your mistake, you did not get us the components. So in order to avoid that kind of situation, we are going to have this concept called safety stock. It can be a raw material, or it can be with respect to machinery, whatever the components we discussed, that components also. So in the organization, we are going to decide something as a safety stock. So for the specific material, I am telling safety stock is 100. It means at any given point of time in my warehouse, with respect to that material, 100 stock has to be there, right? So if you come and check in today evening, 100 stock should be there. If it is more, it's fine. But minimum, I should have the 100 stock. So why we are going to set that safety stock means? So we are going to check that, like if in case of a raw material, we are going to check that for a material A, we need this for our production activity. If this stock get over, how much time I need to get it replenished, means purchase that raw material from the supplier and keep it in our warehouse. Suppose it is going to take 1 day for me. If I place the order today, tomorrow I am going to get the stock from the supplier. This is so important. If that, like minimum, I am consuming 100 pieces of this raw material. In every day, I am consuming minimum 100 pieces. So, if I place the order, I will need at least 1 day to get this replenished. It means at any given day, there should be 100 stock available. If 100 stock is not there, if I have a less stock, my production team is going to sit idle. Means just imagine I have a 50 stock today. If I go and place the order today, so they are going to supply me tomorrow. My production team is able to produce only 50, consume only 50. After that, they are going to sit idle telling that there is no stock. Right? So that is the reason I am mentioning 100 is the safety stock. Means at any given point of time, minimum 100 stock should be there in my warehouse. That is the safety stock. So when the stock falls below 100, system has to create a requisition automatically. So that is something called as a reorder point. Means when the stock falls below, system has to create a purchase requisition automatically. That is called as a reorder point. So in the reorder point, like we are going to like mention one more like the quantities number, means when it falls below 100, up to what level it reaches, then system has to create a automatic purchase requisition. So we are telling that okay, my safety stock is 100. If it falls below 80, right? When it touches 80, system has to create a purchase requisition automatically. So every day this MRP will be running. Whenever it finds any such material where the stock goes below 100 and it touches the reorder point, it is going to pick that material and automatically create a requisition. Is it clear? So we can ask the question like, okay, it's creating a requisition, it's fine. For how much quantity it is going to create a requisition?
20.
How much quantity it is going to create a requisition?
20 quantities.
So if I get it 20 again, like tomorrow I am going to consume, again it is going to fall short. So is that 20 is enough for me then?
We'll go on it.
They will mention minimum how much quantity.
So we
you are
have a provision how much you want to order. Whether you want to order like what is your safety stock that much, or you want to order what is the shortfall only that much, or you want to order any fixed number of stock. So that is the provision we have where you can enter in a metal master. So based on that, system is going to automatically generate a requisition for you with that quantity. So that is also one more way to create a requisition. So you can ask that like, okay, we are from MM. Why we are worrying about like plant maintenance? Why we are worrying about MRPs? Because like for us, if the requisition is there, then we are going to carry forward, right? But even though we are from MM or P2P side, we should know that like what is the origin of this requisition, from where this requisition has come in, right? So these are the different ways where requisition can be created. So there are some indicators will be available in your PR to check that how this requisition got created. By looking into that, you can able to identify what is the origin of this requisition. Fine? Any doubts? Any questions till now? So to like we have list of T code also here. The way we were creating in master data for this transaction data also. For creation of requisition manually, we are going to use the T code ME51N, ME52N for change, ME53N for display, ME54N for approval, and ME57 we have for assign source of supply, and ME59 N we are going to use convert PR to PO. So these are the common T codes we are going to use it in our day-to-day activity. Again, with respect to each topic, I am telling that there are few more T codes available, but these are the common T code we are going to use it in our day-to-day activity. Any question? Any doubts till now?
Who will approve the PR?
So that is what I told. Like in the organization, there will be organizational hierarchy, right? So if you are working as a junior employee, your lead will be there. So whatever the value of the requisition, it is going to check that it is sufficient for your team lead to approve, or is manager, it has to go to his manager. Like if I want to give an example. So there will be like various bands will be there. Like we have something, CEO will be there, this is the topmost, VP will be there, some director will be there, managers will be there, team lead will be there, and like senior engineer, junior engineer, something like that will be there, right? So most of the organization, they are not going to give any kind of approval authority for this 2 level. So on top of the above, everybody will have the some authority to spend a money. So when it comes to team lead, they are going to give authority to spend up to 10,000. Means when he is spending or his scheme is spending up to 10,000, he no need to take any approvals. But if it crosses more than 10,000 up to 1 lakh, the manager is the approver. Means if you are raising a request, the value of the request is 10,001 rupees. So it has to go to the approval for your team lead as well as a manager. Both has to approve. If it goes more than 1 lakh, then you are going to it will go to up to director level. Then all the 3 people has to approve. It depends on the configuration of we are going to do it. We'll discuss that later. Any questions? Okay, let's see that how to configure. How to create the requisition. Then later we'll see about configuration. So on what is first?
ಏನು ಹಾಂ ಆಯ್ತು ಅದು ಡಾಟಾ ಲಾಕ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ
DevOps developer.
Okay, so let's start creating a purchase requisition. We told ME51 N is the key code which we are going to use it to create a requisition. So this is a purchase requisition creation screen. Here it has a header section, item details and item section. There are 3 sections are there. In header section we have limited information. In item section where we can fill in the whatever the material or services you are going to buy. You can enter in number of line items. And in item detail, with respect to each line item, it is going to show the detail information. You will see that. There is some personal setting option is there, where if you want to set any field value as a default, you can go to this default. Like suppose if you are working for a specific plant, you can put that plant as a default. Means whenever you go to create a requisition, automatically that plant will be entered. You no need to enter that plant. Same way requisitioner also, if you are the one who is going to create a requisition, your name always should come as public. You can able to select that as a default. So like that, there are so many fields are there. Any of these fields you can set as a default. And if you save it, so in my case, I just selected a requisitioner as a default. You can see even purchase group also as a default is coming up, right? You don't need to enter this value. And other thing with respect to this personal setting, there is selection period of my document. Means you want to know that last 1 week, last 1 month, what are the requisition you created. You can select here. There are various options are available, like 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. But don't select anything like 999. It is unrestricted. Means you can start searching the number of record you created from day one this software has started, right? Try to avoid it by default selecting 99. Even not suggestible to have a 1 year. Just try to have 1 week, 1 month something. It will be system will be much faster. If you select 1 year and all, it is going to take a lot of time just to open your PR creation screen. Once you select that, go to this option. If you want to get this view, you can you have to click on this document overview on, then only it is going to come up. And then here you can select my purchase requisition. If you click on my purchase requisition, currently we have selected last 7 days. In last 7 days, whatever the requisitions has been created, everything is going to show up. In your case, only whatever the requisition created in your ID, that are all going to show up. So only these 4 requisitions got created in last 1 week. So If you have more, it is going to show that more. So now to create a equation, like we can start filling in the information here. So we told like when we need a goods or services, we are going to fill in like first thing material or service. You can select a material. So I am going to use my plan what we have created yesterday. There is only one material, select that material. And then we told we are going to enter the quantity. So I need some 100 piece. The delivery date, you no need to enter, system is automatically going to select. I'll tell you that how it is going to select, and then you have to mention which location you need a goods. So if you enter this information, all the other information will get automatically populated. Material group, delivery date, text, everything will get automatically populated. You no need to enter anything. But while practicing, make sure that like you are going and checking what all the fields, where it is coming, try to check that. And also it is asking us to enter the price. So in this Metal Master, whatever the price is maintained, you can go back and enter the same price. In our case, nothing is maintained, so I'm just maintaining some random price. So with this, your equation is ready. You can check is there any error. So there is no error. You can able to save it. So if you want to change a display, you can go to ME52 and ME53 and you can able to display or change the equation. So currently it's in display mode. If you want to change anything, you just click on this edit button and this will go to the change mode. So currently it's in change mode. You can able to modify any of the values. So as I told, like in the header section, there is a text note. If you want to put any text for a purchasing department or like vendor, you can able to enter here. In the item section, like where you can enter that n number of line item, we have only one line item where we have just enter the material number, quantity and the plan. Your delivery date, metal group has come from your Metal Master. Delivery date is calculated automatically. Unit, it is again coming from your Metal Master. That is the basic unit we have selected. Purchase group, it will come from your Metal Master if you have selected. Requested by we set it as a default. Like that, whatever the information we need for requisition, all the information is available. In the item detail sections, like there are so many tabs, each tab is going to show that whichever the line item you are going to select. In our case, only one line item is there. If it is a multiple line item, you can click on that, it is going to show all the line item. Which line item you are going to select, all this tab will show the information with respect to that line item only. So in material data, where it's showing which is a material number, material group, if you have any batch, it will show that as well. It is a vendor, if there is any vendor material number, you can able to show it here. And text is coming from your Metal Master. Quantity, like it is showing that what is the quantity you have ordered. Anything is delivered out of this, currently nothing. Open quantity, all the quantities are open. There are two indicators, closed and fixed. So after creating a equation, if you activate this closed indicator, you cannot use this equation anymore for PO creation. It considers as this equation is closed. And there is one more fixed ID. So we told from MRP we are going to create a equation. So when MRP is going to create a equation, before creating a new equation, it is going to check for this particular material which is there in MRP, is there any equation is already available. If the equation is available and it has a fixed check is active, suppose like I need a new 100 piece as per the MRP. So first it is going to check for that particular material, like material A is what we are using to run MRP, and system is going to check for this particular material A, is there any PR is available and what will be the quantity. That is what it is going to check. So if the PR is available in that PR, like some 20 quantities are there, only with respect to 80 quantity, it is going to create a equation because already 20 quantities available. That will happen only if you activate this fixed indicator ID. Check. It considers that it is a confirmed requisition. If this check is not active, it is going to delete this requisition and it is going to create a new requisition for all the 100 quantity. Is it clear? If this check is active, system is not going to delete this. System is going to consider this and whatever the remaining quantity is going to create a requisition. If it is not active, system is going to delete this requisition and it is going to create a new requisition. and here the delivery date, request date, release date, everything we can see. So we can able to see that the requisition we have created today date is second, but the delivery date is coming as third. So from where that one additional day is getting added, right? So that one day we have maintained with respect to the plant what we are using. If I want to purchase anything for this particular plant, I need one day to get the delivery. It is currently we are not adding anything with respect to the vendor, how much time we need to supply and all, because we are not yet selected a vendor, right? So only for this particular plant, if you get a goods also, it takes one day to get the goods and put it in our proper store location and all. That is the one day it is getting added, and it is going to show it as, even though we are creating today, tomorrow is the delivery date. If I remove that in the configuration where we are maintaining that one day, it is going to show as same day as a delivery date. I'll show that where we are maintaining the configuration. In Metal Master or Info Record, if you are in the Metal Master also, we have a provision to enter a plant delivery time, GR processing time in your MRP view. I'll show that. Or if you already selected a supplier, in that Info Record, if you maintain, that day is also getting added to this request date, and it is going to propose a new delivery date. And we discussed while creating a plant, we have a factory calendar. In that factory calendar, if it is suppose if it is already tomorrow, it is going to like exclude that particular day, and next day it is going to show as a delivery date. So that is also happens to, like, if this delivery date is getting calculated completely automatically, you don't need to enter anything. But while doing a calculation, it is going to check a multiple parameters. So valuation, it is a price like what we entered. So here like various options are there. Goods receipt means it is a stockable item. You have to post a goods receipt for this. You need to receive this goods. Invoice receipt means it has a value, means if you are buying this goods, you have to pay the supplier. That is, you need to create an invoice for this particular. GR non-validated means it is something like free goods, or where I am like it's a quantity, value of it is not there for that specific material. That is called as a GR non-validated. Means there is no value for the GR. Source of supply, where we are going to say, if you are selecting a vendor, it is you are going to fill it here. If the list of vendor is already available, if you click on assign source, it will show that like what are all the suppliers are available for this particular material. So in our case, it is a new material, no info record, nothing has been created. It is not going to show anything. It is currently grayed out. In status, if there is any block, or is it allow you to create a PO, that is the information you can able to see. Contact person, the person who has created a requisition, like it's coming as a user because whatever the user ID we are using, in that name is put as user only. Creation indicator, it's showing real time manual. We have created this requisition manually, we did not create automatically, right? Requisitioner, like whomsoever is the person who is requesting that ID. Purchase group, this is the purchase group what we maintain in a Metal Master. MRP controller, in case of MRP and all, in Metal Master we have to maintain an MRP controller. Currently, like it is not MRP related process, like it is a blank, it's fine. Telephone number, it's a like purchasing group. We told purchasing group can be a person or group of people. Their name, their phone number, everything will come up here. Text, with respect to text, like we discussed in previous class, this text can be coming from your Metal Master info record, or if you want, you can fill in some text directly in the purchase requisition. Delivery address is address of the plant where you want to get this delivered. That is the information is available. As I told, if you have a multiple line item, with respect to each line item, you have a similar kind of different information for that particular line item. Are we clear till now? So you can ask question like, where is the approval? Currently we are nowhere seeing approval. So in order to get the approval tab, we need to do some configuration that we are going to check it later. So we have created a requisition, that is a manual creation of the requisition. Suppose we have a requisition, we want to create a similar kind of request one more time. So we can go back to that requisition, there is option to adopt. All the information will get automatically copied, you no need to do anything. You can just save it and your requisition is ready. Right? Or one more type, you can like whatever the requisition you want to recreate, you can select this and you can drag it to this basket. My keyboard is not proper, but it's not working. It will allow you to select and drag it here. If you drag it to this basket, then also all the information will get copied. If you want to do any changes, you can do it and you can able to save it. That is how we can create a requisition manually. Are we good till now? Any doubts? Any questions? So we told like there are many other ways to create a requisition. Let's create one more material quickly. So in order to use the MRP process, we have to select this MRP view. In that MRP views, we need to fill in some information. Then only we can able to create a requisition with respect to MRP. The plant. So in MRP view, we can mention that like what kind of MRP type. MRP type is material requirement planning type. You want to do it automatic planning or manual planning, you can able to select. So we are selecting PD. PD is nothing but we are going to use a MRP. So here like how much you want to buy, lot size you can mention here. MRP controller you can enter. So like how much lot you can buy, you can enter. So procurement type is showing as F. F indicates external procurement. Like in material type we have selected like whether this material can be used internal or external. Based on that it's showing as F. Plant delivery time. So we saw that in requisition it can have the plant delivery time also. It takes how many days to get this delivery you can enter. And you can enter it like GR processing time, means how much time I need to like post the GR and all you can able to enter here. So something safety stock we discussed, right? Here you can able to mention that what will be your safety stock. So in this like we are not record anything. So whether you are into make to stock scenario, make to order, like which scenario you are doing this procurement activity, you can able to select, but it doesn't matter much for us like when we are running the R process. If you are running like the production planning, that is the time it is very much important to select. So we have created this material. Let me do one thing. I'll create a record also. So when this in safety stock scenario, we told before MRP system is going to check the stock availability of this material. So there is one decode where we can check that what is the requirement, what is the stock availability, that is MD04. So in this, if you just enter a plant and material, click on enter, it will show that all the open document with respect to this particular material and a plant combination. Means how many PRs are there, how many POs are there, how many deliveries are there, everything is going to show. Currently it is telling that for this particular material and plant combination, only safety stock is active, there is no open document. Because of that safety stock, our like 100 stock should be available. Currently 0 stock is there. That is the reason it's showing that safety stock minus 100 means you are negative, already you are far negative. There is no stock available. So once we have this, so system is going to run like there is a MRP job will be scheduled. It will be running once in a day or like once in a week based on the like organization needs. So if you want to run that, we can use this MD01 T code. MD01 is for like plant wise. We are going to run for particular material. We can use MD02 where you can run with respect to material. If you use MD01, it is going to look for that entire plant, what all the materials are there. It is going to run MRP for everything. If you are selecting material, it is going to run for only material. So while a requisition, that fixed indicator I told is going to delete a requisition and it is going to recreate a new requisition, right? So here like the create purchase requisition option is there. It is for purchase requisition. One more option, not this one. This planning mode. Here normally we will be selecting 3 as the option. 3 means delete and recreate a planning data. Means if anything is there without fix, it is going to delete that and it is going to recreate a new requisitions. And if you want to see the logs and all, you can able to activate this checks. If you activate simulation mode, it is not going to create document, it will just show the results. But if you want to like create a requisition, remove this and execute. It is showing the result. It is not a created requisition. Just save it. It is showing that as per your requirement, it has created a one requisition. Then come out of this. In the MD04, you can refresh your MD04 screen. You can see there is a 100.3 requisition got created automatically. Why it is 100? In Material Master, so we have mentioned the lot size as lot of order quantity. We did not specifically maintain anything. Means it is just to saw that like what is the required and it started procuring. You can maintain here what is the minimum lot size or what is the maximum lot size, and like based on your requirement what it has to be created, you can able to mention here. Based on that, it's going to recreate a requisitions. Currently, like MRP 2 view, we have maintained the safety stock is 100. We did not mention that minimum safety stock, that is a reorder point. That is the reason it's considering for everything and it is recreating for a requisition for complete quantity. And if you go back to that requisition, display mode. So there is like form. This is what the indicator that fixed is going to check. So here like requisition got created the way we manually create same way, and all the information is filled. Its current is still filled, not fixed. We did not like select or anywhere like it's a confirm. And whatever the plant delivery time we have entered in the Material Master, it came here, even GR processing time. If you see now, it is adding all these dates and your delivery date is coming as a 14 days, right? Earlier it was showing tomorrow is the delivery date for same material, other material. For this material is showing as a 14 days your delivery date. Valuation, currently it did not select a valuation because in your Material Master the price was 0, nothing has come up here. Source of supply, nothing has selected. And the main thing we need to check is a contact person. The contact person, it is going to show that how this requisition got created. Created by, it is not showing your ID because it has created through MRP. It is like some system ID is speaking. Creation indicator, earlier it was showing as a manual. Now you can see it is got created through material requirement planning. And purchasing group, it's coming from your Material Master, and MRP controller, what we have entered in Material Master, that is coming up. This is how we can create a requisition through MRP. So there is one more way to create a requisition through MRP. For that, like lot of PP related configuration or PP related master data is required, but still we can able to create. I will show that. Normally, like we told, there is a concept of bill of material, right? So in bill of material, we are telling to make a bike as a finished product, what are all the components required? We are telling one engine, two tire, something like that, right? So when we are going to create a plant order, the plant order should be created for the finished goods. So with respect to finished goods, when we are going to create a plant order, next when we are going to run a MRP, so MRP is going to check the plant order can be converted to a production order only in case all the components are available. If the components are available, it is not going to convert that plant order into a production order. First, whatever the components are there, for that components, it's going to check whether stock is available or not. If it is not available, it's going to create a purchase requisition, right? That is called as a dependent plant order with respect to component, and the requisition what we are creating is a dependent requisition. Means in order to produce a bike, we are procuring these components. So in order to go for that, like we need to have the finished goods metal created, we need to have a BOM created, and we need to have some more master data to be created. But like I'm directly creating a requisition for raw material without having a BOM component and all, we can able to still do it. So you need to mention how much quantity you need and when you are going to start a production activity. And which store location you need. If you have a BOM created, you can next enter the component number, and like it is going to like even convert that based on the stock availability. It is going to do a conversions. If you have a source of supply, you can able to still maintain your click on assign. If any info record is there, it is going to select that. You can see it is selecting. And in the master data, if we have a component and all, it is going to see that and it is going to make the necessary components reorder. So currently, like we are directly creating the plant order for raw material. We don't have a BOM concept and saving it. So there is a new plant order got created. You can go to that same MD04T code and execute. So you can see there is a one plant order is available, but this plant order will not get converted to a requisition because we have already a required stock. There is one more requisition is there which can supply this required requisition. If you see, like earlier as per safety stock we had a -100. Now the requisition got created for that particular 100 quantity, and I am having one more requirement for 100 quantity. That 100 quantity can get nullified here. If you don't delete this requisition, or if you want additional quantity, you can activate a fixed indicator for this requisition, and you can able to convert this plant order into a requisition. So currently, like we don't have any MRP or PP related things. What we can do directly, we can able to convert this plant order to a requisition. Just go here. There is option purchase requisition. If you just in real time, you are not going to do any here. It is getting converted based on your MRP only. But here we don't have any MRP related configuration or maintained. We did not go through any PP related master data at all. So in order to convert this plant order to a purchase requisition, just click on this purchase requisition. This screen will open. Click on save. You can see your plant order got converted to a requisition. So whatever the plant order was showing here, if you refresh, that plant order will go off and requisition will come in. You cannot find that plant order anymore. It will get deleted and the new requisition is getting created. If you go to this new requisition, so again, like all the same way the requisition got created. Here the creation indicator you can see converted from plant order. Earlier case it was showing as a created from MRP. Now it is showing converted from plant order. In this case, in the plant order itself, we had a source of supply assigned. The source of supply is already coming here, right? You can able to create a view. This is how one more type you can able to create a requisition. Are we clear, guys? Are we able to follow? Any questions? I'm worried, like by looking your faces. If you are not following, please let me know. So as I explained as a theory, there are so many ways to create a requisition. I'm just showing what are all the different ways you can able to create a requisition, right? If something is not clear, let me know. I can able to repeat. Are we following or not?
Yes, sir.
I'm not So like I'm feeling that like everybody enter all night. You guys are doing Jagrana today morning coming and sitting here.
So we have not created source of supply for this item.
We created an info record, right?
But that fixed vendor will not come from info record, no? It will come from source of supply.
What is that source of supply means according to you?
Yes, we maintain some sources like 2-3 sources and we maintain that indicator fixed. Then only.
So currently there is only one supplier. If there are multiple supplier you have created info record, then system cannot define this.
Okay.
Currently I have only one supplier, so there is no other option. So that is the reason it's coming up. So any other doubts, questions, guys?
Explain once again, sir.
Which one?
Whole procedure.
Man, you were sleeping or now? What? Last 1 hour I was explaining. You were asking me to repeat everything. What is not clear? I can go through.
Sir,
Yeah.
if the stock comes below 100, we'll run MRP.
Yeah.
So it will order for 80 quantity. We can change it that with 100 quantity to 1000 quantity.
In requisition, you can go and do anything. It's manually you can go to edit mode and you can put any quantity you want.
Okay. What is the use of this lot size? What
So
is the
that is where like you don't want manually somebody to watch out when the stock falls below. You don't somebody like watch out these requisitions. When it falls below, you are mentioning that automatically if the stock falls below, this is a lot you need to buy again. That lot can be 100, that lot can be 1000. You can able to mention how much you want. Any other questions?
So how many line items we can expect from MRP?
How many line item I can expect? So with respect to what?
In single purchase requisition, how many line items with respect to
It
MRP?
depends on like it depends on various. If it is a like safety stock related stuff, each requisition will have only one line item. If it is from safety stock, if it is coming from your planned order, so in the planned order with respect to the finished goods, what all the components are there for that components, which are all having a like shortage. Like as in bike case I told, there are like hundreds of components are there as a BOM. Out of 100, 50 material as a shortage. So all this 50 will come as a your line items.
So what are the difference of MRP and planned purchase requisition?
Once again, MRP and
Planned requisition.
so MRP itself is your planning, right? There is no difference. They both are same. So there are two kinds of requests. One is your manual request. That will be done only for the indirect procurement, where you are buying a service procurement and all. If you are doing a direct procurement with respect to material, it is going to be a planned procurement only. You are doing a procurement for some production activities only. So you already done a planning. With respect to that planning only, you are going to check a stock. If stock is not there, you are going to make a procurement. So that's where we are mentioning like MRP related data for this. MRP is nothing but a material requirement planning only. So it is going to system automatically going to check the requirement. Based on that, it is creating a requisition file. Is that answer to your question or any other things, guys? Is it clear? Still have any questions?
Why we are doing both safety as well as planned order? We can go with the planned order, no? Why we are maintaining safety?
So safety stuff like it's a different concept, right? So you have all the possible options. Like you can tell that like why I even go for MRP, I can able to manually create requisitions, right? So in some scenario, like as we are telling that in case of bomb and all, system can go and check the bomb and it can able to create a requisition. So in other cases like we told spare parts for the machinery, right? So that machine is so critical, and if anything like any spare parts in that machinery broke down, immediately I need to replace that spare parts. I cannot wait for ordering those spare parts and that spare parts has to be delivered and then I'm going to fit into the machine and then machine is going to work. It is going to be a lot time consuming. So in that case, the spare part machine what we are going to maintain, we are going to mention some safety stock. Means any spare part is there. Like currently I am fixing that spare part to a machine. So one I am going to keep always as a extra spare with me. If that spare part whatever is there in the machine if broke down, immediately I can able to replace with the whatever I have. Right? In that case we go for a spare parts. Sorry, safety stock. It's like again I am telling the guys, these are all different business processes available in your standard SAP. It doesn't mean that like you have to follow like this only. it is as convenient for your business. Whichever is suitable for your business, you can able to select and you can able to run the process. But as a SAP, these are all the various options is given to you, right? Somebody can follow the safety stock method to reorder the stock. Somebody is telling that like, okay, I am not going to use the safety stock from MRP means I'll be using that bomb concept. Wherever I need a components required from the bomb explosion, like I'll select a component, whichever is required, I'm going to create a requisition for that and I'm going to make a proposal. You can do it, right? But as a standard software, it is giving various options for you. You can able to select which option you want to run your business process. Any other doubts? So we told that last one more like procurement of the components with respect to plant order, work order. We can able to run that. For that we are going to use the T code IW31, where we can create a plant order, work order. So here like you are going to mention that what kind of work order it is. There are like so many options are available. Regular maintenance order, preventive order, refurbishment order. If somebody work on any plants, you will be knowing that like different. If you are not work, don't worry, you don't need to do anything here. So somebody who is working in the plant, they are going to initiate this kind of things, and it is going to come you as a requisition only. But I'm just showing how they are going to create the requisition in the background. And they can able to select what priority, what is the priority of these activities, which function location in the plant. Like they are going to divide that into a multiple, like based on each machine will be placed in different locations, right? That is like again in the system we are going to define as a functional location. So that you can select here. It is again master data for that particular module. They are going to, like the way we are creating material vendor info record in that plant maintenance module, they are going to create a functional location, equipment, assembly, everything as a master data. Equipment means which equipment you want to have that spare parts and which assembly you are going to use it. You can able to mention everything. I am going to use 1000 plants because we have not done any plant maintenance related configuration for the plant what we created. Click on enter. So all the information got copied. You can maintain that what is the cost of this activity, like to do that maintenance or service, whatever we are expecting. You can able to maintain here. So here, like even you can enter that what is the work duration, how many hours of work somebody has to do it, who is the person who is going to come and do that work. Every kind of details you can able to mention. And what we are telling with respect to requisition, there is option called components. So we are telling for this functional location, whatever the equipment is there, not to repair that equipment. If there is any components are required, you can come to these components and you can able to select what are the components is required with respect to that machine. Some so here you can able to select the components. What is the plant 1000. Any material like if you created, you can able to select. Use the existing material. So how much quantity you need, you can able to mention. will select it as a non-stackable item. We are telling for that particular machine to repair, this is a additional component is required, and it required a 10 quantity. It's asking like 10 delivery date meet your requirement. It's telling like tomorrow you can get that delivered. It is going to helpful you to achieve your delivery date. If you are okay, just go click on OK. If you want, you can able to change that. Select this. There is option called purchasing. If any additional information is required, you can able to fill in. So you already know the price. You can, if you want to fill in, you can able to enter the price. If you know the vendor, you can able to enter the vendor in details. Whatever, like if you know that like how much time it will take to get a delivered, you can able to mention. If you have any info record, you can even enter that. All the information you can able to enter here. And once after that, just back, save it. So again, as I am telling, you are not going to create any of these things. There is a again dedicated team who is working in that module. They are going to do this, but it is all just for your knowledge purpose. You should know that like if any requisition somebody is asking like how this requisition got created, you should be in the position to go back, check, and able to tell that like how these requisitions are getting created. Right? That is again I'm telling it's all knowledge purpose. You are not going to create any of this document in real time, like creation of plant maintenance order, creation of plant order, all these things will be taken care by corresponding teams. You should be know that how it is working in that background as well. So this is your plan order which is got created. You can go to this plan order display. Work order, okay, this is our work order. You can go to the display. Here also you can click on the components. It's showing, it's going to show that like with respect to this order what all the components are mentioned. Or you can go to this. Select this line, click on purchasing. It is going to show that what is the purchase requisition got created, right? If you click on this purchase requisition, directly it is taking you to a purchase requisition which got created. So this is a purchase requisition which got created. It is showing that account assignment category is F. It is telling that it is getting created from the order. And whatever the material we have entered, how much quantity, the delivery date, whatever the information we have filled in, everything is getting added up here. Here if you see, creation indicator is coming as a, even though like there is no option called work order, it is showing as a production order. Actually it is not from a production order, it is a work order. It is like SAP default, that is how it is coming up. But we have created with respect to the work order. So as per this, we are going to get a component procured and going to give it to a plant maintenance team for them to replace the whatever the damaged components are spared. So that is how even you can create a requisition automatically from the plant maintenance. Are we good? I don't know, you guys are last or I am last. So no need to worry all these things guys, again and again I'm telling you, these are all knowledge purpose. If you are able to execute this and know these things, well and good, right? But if you don't know, no need to worry. But if you are not getting that like how these requisitions are coming up, go to this creation indicator and see that like what are all the different things you can see. If the requisition is being created manually, it clearly shows that it is a manual creation. Apart from manual, means it is getting created from any other process. That is how we can able to identify this requisition. Fine? Any other questions? No? Okay, if no questions, we will stop it for today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss what are the configuration we can do with respect to the purchase requisition. Fine?